students, today in our social science class, we are going to continue with the chapter 12 in history. Buildings, paintings and books. And the subtopics for today are Kalidasa, his contribution towards literature, about the Puranas, and Aryabhatta, his contribution to science. Now let's begin with Kalidasa. Kalidasa, also Kalidas, was the most brilliant literary figure of the Gupta age who shed enduring luster on the secular Sanskrit literature. His literary works were primarily revolved around an ancient Hindu text called Puranas. Kalidasa was the greatest poet and dramatist that ever lived in India, and his works have been enjoying an unparalleled reputation and popularity through ages, which remain undiminished even today. Unfortunately, we have no definite idea about the time in which he flourished, nor any knowledge about his life. Scholars differ as to the date of Kalidasa, but the general opinion is in favor of regarding him as a court poet of a Gupta emperor. Most probably Chandragupta II Vikramaditya. Tradition ascribed Navaratna, that is 9 gems of literature, with King Vikramaditya, of whom Kalidasa was the most resplendent. But most scholars think that all 9 gems could not have been Kalidasa's contemporaries. A close study of his work shows that Kalidasa was a pious Brahmin of Ujjain and a liberal Shiva-Vai belief, who was acquired knowledge of the various branches of Brahmanical learning. He was familiar with Shankhya, Yoga, Dharmashastra, Kamasutra, Natya Shastras, Vyakaranatna, Jyotish Shastra, even fine arts, music and painting. The greatest and best work of Kalidasa is his drama Shakuntala, or you can say Abhigyan Shakuntalam, which is considered not only the best in Sanskrit literature but is a literature of the world. The story of King Dushyanta and his wife Shakuntala is vividly narrated in this play. 2 of his earlier works are Malavikagnimitram. In this work, Kalidasa narrates the story of King Agnimitra. Vikramavatsyam is about the story of King Pururavas and Urvashi. 2 of his epics, Raghuvamsa and Kumarasambhava, and his lyrical poem Meghdatta are universally regarded as gems of Sanskrit poetry. Kalidasa is unquestionably the finest master of Indian poetic style, and both in drama and poetry he stands unsurpassed and unrivaled even today. He is inimitable in the use of metaphor and simile. Now children, let's move on to the second subtopic, Puranas. A short introduction on Puranas. The Puranas are full of mythological stories that tell us about the traditions of those times, the lives of the heroes and values of life. Puranas were written almost entirely in narrative couplets, in much the same easy-flowing style as the 2 great Sanskrit epic poems, the Mahabharata and the Ramayana. The early Puranas were probably compiled by upper caste authors who appreciated popular beliefs and ideas from people of various castes. Later, Puranas reveal evidence of vernacular influences and the infusion of local religious traditions. Traditionally, a Purana is said to treat 5 subjects or 5 signs: the primary creation of the universe, secondary creation after periodic annihilation, the genealogy of God and patriarchs, the regimes of the Manus, the first humans, and the history of the solar and lunar dynasties. Creation and dissolution, Sarga, that is emission, and Samhara, that is gathering in, occur when Prajapati, a creator figure of the Vedic age, emits the universe and opens it. But everything is always in it, just alternately revealed, that is manifest or concealed. Latent, Sarga lets it out, and Samhara pulls it back in. The Puranas also treat various topics concerning religious developments that occurred between about 400 and 1500 CE. Those traditional topics include customs, ceremonies, sacrifices, festivals, caste duties, donations, the construction of temples and images, and places of pilgrimage. The genealogies of gods, Manus, and king form an open-ended structure into which individual authors place whatever they wish to talk about, though some Puranas ignore the genealogies entirely. The questions of primary concern to those authors are how to live a pious life and how to worship the gods. Such worship includes the rituals that should be performed at home, in the temple, or on special festival days, places to go on pilgrimage, prayers to recite, and stories to tell and listen to. Significantly, most of those rituals do not require the meditation of a Brahmin priest. So children, that was about Puranas. Now moving on to our third topic about Aryabhatta. Aryabhatta was the first Indian mathematician and astronomer. He had immense knowledge in the field of mathematics. Moreover, he made discoveries during his era. For instance, some of them were the discovery of algebraic identities, trigonometrical functions, and the value of pi, place-value system, etc. Now let us know more about Aryabhatta. Furthermore, he wrote many books which still help us in performing various calculations. Aryabhatta was a great influence to many youngsters, for he excelled in academics from a very early age. Moreover, he contributed much to the society. His works and theories are still remembered and honored till date. Now let us see the work of Aryabhatta. Aryabhatta contributed greatly to the field of mathematics. For instance, he was responsible for discovering various trigonometrical functions which are useful for us in the modern era too. Furthermore, his discovery for the value of pi eased the complications in mathematics. Above all, he founded the place-value system and zero, which are one of the major contributions in the history of mathematics. Most noteworthy is that every theory is in his book, Aryabhatiya, which states astronomical theories. Furthermore, his book divides into different sections of mathematics and astronomy. Apart from his discoveries in the field of mathematics, Aryabhatta contributed immensely towards astronomy. He proposed the heliocentric theory, which states the planet revolve around the sun. With the help of the theory, he calculated the speed of the different planets with respect to the sun. Furthermore, he also calculated the sidereal rotation, which is the rotation of the earth in reference to the stars. Moreover, he found it sidereal year to be 365 days, 6 hours, 12 minutes and 30 seconds, which varies with only 3 minutes and 20 seconds over the modern day value. Now, what are the contributions of Aryabhatta? Most noteworthy is that Aryabhatta correctly founded that the earth rotates on its axis. Furthermore, he also proposed the geocentric model of the solar system, which described the earth to be the center of the universe, and the sun, the moon, and the planets revolve around it. Aryabhatta also explained the solar and the lunar eclipse in his book. Consequently, he also proposed that the moon, due to the reflection of the sunlight, he explained in his book that the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse takes by the shadow casting of the earth and the moon. In conclusion, Aryabhatta's approximations in the field of astronomy were quite accurate. It provided the core to the computational paradigm which provides a base to the modern theories. So children, today we are getting over with this session. Please go through the video once again and learn all the subtopics. Thank you.